the Shanghai Cooperation Organization summit that has made Donald Trump shift in his seat. Even the leader of the so-called most powerful country in the world seems to be getting cold sweats looking at the viral videos and images of Prime Minister Modi, Vladimir Putin, and Chinese Premier Xi Jinping. United States' President Donald Trump has issued his first response, albeit indirectly, on the SCO summit. Trump took to Truth Social, writing his quote-unquote truth. Looks like we've lost India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. May they have a long and prosperous future together, and of course followed by an exclamation mark. He also posted an image showing Prime Minister Modi, Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin. And this comes even as India has maintained that we will continue to put our national interests first, and that ties with the United States is dependent on mutual respect and interest. Donald Trump's tone is equal parts alarm and commentary, signaling that the SCO summit and the strength of the India-Russia-China trio has caught the attention of the United States and is likely raising questions in Washington about the shifting dynamics in global geopolitics. This post underscores a growing concern in Washington. The emerging power triangle of the RIC, that is Russia, India and China, which could challenge the United States' influence in Asia and beyond. And this also comes amid keenness shown by Moscow and Beijing to form the RIC Troika as a counter to the West-led world order marred by sanctions and now, of course, tariffs. Whether Donald Trump's comments are a mere observation or an early warning of recalibration in the United States' foreign policy, one thing is clear. The SCO summit has made the world and the United States sit up and take notice. Manish Chand, CEO, Center for Global India Insights, with us on the broadcast here. Many thanks for taking out the time and speaking to News9, Manish. Firstly and foremost, you were there in Tianjin. We all saw your coverage as well, Manish. But what does one make out of Donald Trump's first statement of the troika that the world saw at the SCO? We've been seeing about the bonhomie between these three leaders. Was it only optics or not? That's a completely different thing. But it's got Washington talking and the US president shifting in his seat. There are several ripple effects. Our Indian students over there, the visa wisdom that keeps on coming in the form of these truths on social media, Manish. But how are you looking at these developments? Are we really looking at a new global order that could actually challenge the United States, the so-called superpower of the world?
So Kabir, the thing is that this is what Donald Trump, the way he's reacted, he is clearly extremely rattled by this get-together of the three important players in the Eurasian airspace, Eurasian space, India, Russia, and China. And the point is this, that this summit took place, the SCO summit in Tianjin, against the backdrop of unprecedented aggression, tariff aggression, trade aggression by Donald Trump. So, the images you are seeing, and we were there in Tianjin, all that bonhomie that caught everybody by surprise. But the message was noted. And this is the first time, I think, I've done so many SCO summits that it attracted so much coverage. And that is because it challenged as you said, the West-led and the US-led, the US hegemonic agenda. Because in the past few weeks, what we have seen is Donald Trump behaving like a monarch, like an emperor, like a hegemon. And his rhetoric is reminiscent of, either you are with us or against us. And a new kind of demonology is sought to be created. Look at the expression, we have lost in India and Russia to deepest, darkest China. I don't know, where is it coming from? Deepest, darkest China.
And when it favors him, Manish, when it favors the US president, the same deepest, darkest China, they're allowed to do their all electronic, trade. When it comes to iPhones and Apple technology, they're allowed to do whatever they can. 125 here, 145 there. China has shown United States that they can suffer way more than they think.
So, it reminds you of Milton's description of hell, deep and dark and all that. But it is utterly ridiculous to say that. And it reeks of hypocrisy, as you said, that, US has its own business, and US is the biggest trading partner of China, and has a trade deficit of over $350 billion. That's humongous. That's India's trade deficit with India of around $40 billion is peanuts. But yet he had chosen and singled out an old trusted strategic partner, which
Right.
was earlier seen as part of the linchpin of American strategy to counter China. So this is very ironical. It's like a reversal of sorts. And what is he trying to achieve through all this? And when he says that we have lost it, now who has lost it? If he's correct, it is Trump's aggression. It is Trump's arbitrariness. It's Trump's dictatorial behavior. And you are saying we've lost it, and it is he who has driven them. I
Yep.
mean, it is not that India is going to get, really in a tight embrace with Russia or China. Of course, with Russia, there are different equations. It's a time-trusted strategic partnership that has stood the test of time. With China, we have started thawing our relations,
Right.
and there is a different dynamic at play. But amidst all this, what is happening to the India-US partnership?
That's the big question,
Which was
Manish. And let me rephrase this question now, because, I mean, I don't want to
right.
trivialize the entire aspect of it all, but it seems like Donald Trump tried to make these pits for his economic adversaries and, at a gusto speed, and now he's fallen in one of those pits himself. And from there, it's like a little college love triangle where he's sitting and quoting out these truths. Now, to look at this, some ripple effects and developments, India chose to give that military parade a miss, because he wanted to keep our doors open with the United States. But Manish, is that really helping out India at that particular front? Because Donald Trump has come out with his new tweet. And Mr. Lutnick, and this is another rich statement, Manish, Mr. Lutnick says, give it 1 or 2 months, India will come back to the negotiating table. Well, it seems like a little bit of a technical difficulty over there with Manish. We're going to quickly try and patch that up, but that's the entire peg of this discussion, because amidst the tariffs and these terrifying times that we're dealing with already, Donald Trump feels so isolated that he's resorting to this kind of particular language, saying we've lost India and Russia to deepest and darkest China. When you're putting sanctions on Russia, it doesn't matter. When you're putting those humongous tariffs on China, that really doesn't matter. A hypocritical stand that has now come to light when we're looking at these particular developments. India will be at the negotiating table in a month or two, says Lutnick. Donald Trump says we've lost India to deepest and darkest China. Manish was just telling us how hypocritical this stance is coming from the US president. But then again, the terrifying times that we live in, it has an effect for all the Indians that are staying in the United States. About 4,700 students whose visas were in fact revoked. And Manish continues to be with us on the broadcast. Manish, 4,700 plus visas that were revoked. And whilst I'm talking about revocation, it's because of unauthorized courses that they had taken, about illegal attendance. And there are raids happening for students that are trying to make ends meet and trying to earn $900,000 a month just to get by. Now raids are happening. Employers don't want immigrants, specifically Indians, because right-wing influencers and conservatives in the United States are single-handedly targeting Indians. That's another tariff twist, isn't it? And that's another pit that Donald Trump might be digging right now. And who knows, maybe he'll fall into that one as well. Manish.
Right. So, this is most unfortunate, because Donald Trump should not forget that America is a land of immigrants. America is nothing without immigrants, really, and everybody should recognize that. And
Yep.
talking about the contribution, the rich and multifaceted contribution of 5 million Indian Americans to American society. In Trump administration himself has some outstanding Indo-Americans. There, Kash Patel, Ramaswamy, and Vice President's wife, and she's not part of the administration, but this has got probably the largest number of Indian Americans. So when he's doing this, what he's doing is he's damaging the strongest pillar of India-US partnership, which is people-to-people base, foundation of this partnership. One of the reasons India-US partnership relationship continue to flourish despite trust at G2G level in the Cold War years as well, until quite late, we're talking about early 2000, and onwards, is because of this robust people-to-people bridge. The diaspora is one of the most well-off, educated, and all that. And now, by denying visas, whose interest it is serving? If it's all coming from the xenophobes who are there in that right wing and all that,
Yeah.
but this is no way to make America great again. And that is the whole contradiction. You know, MAGA, when you talk of making America great again, it militates against that larger
The
agenda.
secondary sector,
So it
the
looks like
tertiary
he's
sector,
lost the
Manish,
plot.
making
He's-
America great again on the back and
Yeah.
on the backbone of the immigrants. So remove them and you'll see what will actually happen.
Yeah.
When all these big Fortune 500 companies
Precisely.
go offshore, how many of those CEOs were Indians sitting across Donald Trump? And how many of those came to the United States on an H-1B?
Yes. And you just saw that he hosted a dinner for tech.
That's what I'm saying.
Big guys in the tech world, including prominent Indians, iconic Indian faces in the tech world. So there is so much contradiction. So, you know, it's really impossible to understand now, where is it all coming from? Is he becoming a schizophrenic? Or is it a pathological case of egotism, you know? I mean, it really, you know, it's, one is not able to make rational sense of it. At one point, I used to think there is a method in his madness, but now I only see madness. Because on every front, look at
He
the
looks tired,
reaction.
Manish. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
The US president, he looks tired. He
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
looking this tired. Everybody said, look at him go. 2 months, so 100 executive orders. 3 months, 100 executive orders. He started looking tired. And that's the problem here. Because when you get tired, you are unable to make mature calls. And look at what India is doing. We know that these are terrifying times, Manish, but we give the parade a miss in China. We come back. We keep our ties, you know, hunky-dory in the pink of its health with Japan, and we also keep our windows and doors open for United States' bilateral trade. Today, Ministry of External Affairs' press conference, it was put across a question, and the MEA categorically said no comments. And I think that's the mature card that we need to play here. Donald Trump clearly sulking. I'm going to slip into a quick commercial breather here, Manish. Last 20 seconds to you before we wrap this up.
I mean, you know, by damaging, and he's facing a lot of backlash from within his own party, from within the political establishment in America, that a relationship which are nurtured with care, diligence over past 25 years is now unraveling, all because of the whims of American president, all because of the whims of Donald Trump, and nobody's able to figure out what is the logic and the calculation. Why is it determined to punish India? For what?
You're right.
So,
and you know, very soon, Manish, people will stop figuring it out. People can't figure it out right now, and very soon people will stop figuring it out. Let's see what really happens. Let's not jump the gun here, but one thing is for sure, he looks a little tired, and he's not taking the mature calls here, and that's only enabling Russia and China to be that glue right next to India on both sides. And it's not, you know, a convenience of alliance. We can trust Russians when it comes to the Libra scale, maybe not the Chinese so much, but in these testing times, when it is necessitated, I think we can bring a rooster out of the bag also, and a magic trick that we can pull off. And Prime Minister Modi has shown it across the world. Look at how many accolades he's got, top civilian honors from so many countries. The list is so huge. So we're going to leave it there. Manish Chand, CEO, Center for Global India Insights. Many thanks for joining us here on the broadcast.